essence of benchmarking. And I believe that we need to throw out that old saw if it wasn't invented here, throw it out and find out good ways of doing things. Thirdly, the third motivation to innovate is the passion, I believe, to simply do the right thing. That is, not only to improve the institution, but also to contribute to the overall improvement of higher education. And when that happens, we also improve the larger society. In my view, more and more enlightened leaders are themselves. They see themselves as stewards of a critically important enterprise. And this commitment to a greater good beyond one's individual campus is a part of the driving force in the search for innovation in the entire realm of higher education. Now let me rapidly work down a little innovation checklist that I use. Where is innovation needed? We need it in the financial area to address financial strain and pressure. We need innovation as the calls will increase for demands for accountability. We need innovation as we address competition. I was sitting with Frank Lassiter and we were talking about MBA programs and how many providers at the MBA level exist here in North Texas, and how important it is for each of those institutions, particularly in this case, the University of Dallas, to be distinctive so that you can address competition in that realm. And he indicated to me, you have to move fast. If you move slow, you will lose out. We need innovation as we address that challenge of working with the public schools, K-12 education. We need innovation as we look at new academic structures in our institutions. We need innovation as we seek to bring into our confines this next generation of scholars and administrators. We need innovation because everywhere we turn these days, we see this term being green, caring for the environment. However, there are some pressures that inhibit innovation. Those pressures being poor communication, the lack of collaboration, transparency without responsibility, having the wrong people on the bus. And then there are those long-standing faculty administrator tensions, inadequate data, organizational designs, the inability to stop things that have been functioning for a long period of time that have, in effect, outlived their usefulness. I say to my community college colleagues that, you know, the work that we do in a community college has many of the attributes of a supermarket. And they ask me, what do you mean by that? Very simply this. Does the supermarket retain all of the product lines forever? No. There is this thing called product life and shelf life in a supermarket. And I believe the same pattern has its parallel in higher education. There are times when certain good, well-meaning programs have outlived their usefulness. And so this inability to stop is one of the things that can inhibit innovation. And then there are a few external pressures, the major one being the desire to keep up with the Joneses, the Smiths, the Berkeleys, the Penns, and the Miami-Dades. There are also demographic shifts in public expectation and the general lack of patience on the part of the public. And also there is this need to really get credit for the good work that does go on in the academy. Well, the primary leadership function of a campus or a system leader is to frame a vision for that institution that serves as a blueprint for the decision makers. That vision should be both inspirational and relevant. And if it is inspirational and relevant, it can foster innovation. Innovation, in my view, has to do with getting people to believe that the institution can become something different other than what it has been. And so if that is the charge, and I hope that it is, my advice to my colleagues is this: always guard the mission. Don't deviate from the mission for the institution. You need to enlist a wide range of collaborators to aid you in this effort. Be very bold in ushering in new perspectives. Always be open for new opportunities. Thirdly, you need to foster at that institution an atmosphere of appropriate risk. You need to promote structures that would encourage community. And then you need to take the case for innovation to the public. Innovation for the sake of innovation is and should always be suspect. Higher education, however, can ill afford to be stagnant. The demands and the opportunities of today are too great. But at the same time, higher education cannot afford to pursue the dreams, the suggestions, and the demands of all of its stakeholders. Thus, the leadership challenge is to listen, to distill, to interpret, and to synthesize ideas from among the many voices. Campus leaders have the task of choosing among opportunities, making decisions, and moving ahead. And I believe leaders well know that they do lack the resources to advance on all fronts. The difficulty is that the decisions they face, more often than not, are to choose among viable and important alternatives. It is not a choice between good and bad, but rather a choice between good and good. And so most external constituencies have a difficult time of understanding both how we work and also the complexities of our mission. Therefore, as leaders, we need to educate people about the need for education and about the economics of education. Public or independent, institutions no longer have the luxury of being out of the public eye and out from under a veil of public ignorance. There is greater public scrutiny, which means that it is imperative that stakeholders understand the hard, cold facts about how higher education operates. Now, I must admit, such transparency can be risky, but that means that campus leaders must find ways to elicit the attention and the understanding of a listening public. Innovation can become a viable strategy in addressing that important challenge. That's my awareness talk for you today. Are there questions during the limited time?
Any questions for our speaker?
I knew my friend Frank Lazarus would. Yes, Frank.
Right, are you a proponent of trying to motivate and initiate innovation from the bottom up, or do you think there are times when innovation can rightly be done top down and simply provide, say, a financial challenge or a proposal to the faculty or to the college in your case, as opposed to another, or among the colleges as to who can do innovation? Which do you think is more effective, or is there just?
It's some of both. However, I have found that if the leader is adroit in planting seeds, the seeds must be planted. And where those seeds have been planted, it can very effectively work from the bottom up. Desirably, if innovative ideas have that genesis, if you will, you already address one of the major challenges, and that is trying to get buy-in. When I